Final Fantasy VI is one of the best known and most beloved Japanese role-playing games of all time, right? And for me, it's also one that is kind of personal to me because that is actually the first Japanese role-playing game I personally ever played. And I played it when I was like 8 years old, right? And it kind of helped me build, gain a love for the genre and Final Fantasy series, and particularly, right, characters like Tina, right, have always like been a character that I've always related to and always loved quite a bit, right? So this is, like I said, a game that there's probably no game, like video game wise, that probably had a greater impact on me, right? Like I said, because Japanese role playing games became kind of my favorite genre, and Final Fantasy series is certainly one of my favorite series, right? And this is the game for me that started it all. Right, so this is going to be the next game I play on my channel. I'm hopefully will try starting this later today, like, like when I normally stream. Right, like I said, and we're going to be doing the Steam version. It's the old Steam version now. I mean, there actually isn't a version on Steam you can buy currently. Like, this version is still available on Humble Bundle and a couple of other websites. Right, this was one that was based on the mobile version. This was released 2015. Right, like I said, I do think this is a good version. I did play the mobile version. I do have that one as well. But this one, the PC version, you can actually mod it, and there is a lot of great mods. I think like 2018, they released something called a World Reborn mod, which improves the graphics quite a bit, and just kind of gives it the whole HD remaster look and adds an orchestrated soundtrack. Like I said, and more recently it went to the next level. Like these other guys put something together called Atma Weapon mod, which puts the World Reborn mod as well as a bunch of other mods all in one package, right? And now, so you kind of get to have all these other options, right, to kind of create a much fuller experience, right? And there's actually, and there's even more mods since then that I'll also be using a couple of, but what I'm going to do now is go through the Atma Weapon installer and kind of go show you like some of the things that you can add with this mod and like what the options are, right? And just kind of show you kind of some of the setup I am. Like there will be a couple of other things I will change. I'll be beyond this mod. Like I will swap out some of the sprites and stuff, but I'm just going to go through the installer now and show you what options we got and what I'm going to set up with. So we will open this up, right? Hard drive on my computer. Yes. Alright, so there's actually 3 different presets you can do, or you can create your own, which, right, there's Remastered, there's World Reborn, there's Classic, and the Create Your Own. Like, so, kind of like when this whole thing started, there was a mod a couple of years ago called a World Reborn mod, which kind of pretty much gave it, like, almost like a whole HD treatment of the game, right? It was quite a good mod, and then, so this is, the Atma Weapon is that plus, right? So we're going to just do create our own because so it doesn't really matter. Just kind of show, like, so if you go create your own, it's just defaults to begin with, and you can select the other ones anyway. So we'll just do that because I think it's just easier to show this case this way. Right, so you have the default sprites. These are sprites you get normally. There's a World Reborn, which changed them up. Then you have the Remastered, which is kind of similar to the default, but remastered, a bit different shading on them. Some of the colors different, but slightly different. And then of course you have the classic SNES sprites if you prefer the classic SNES sprites, but I actually prefer the World Reborn. There's a few overrides you can do, which I prefer Tina with the green hair, so we'll do the green hair. Right, you could do Celeste. Celeste. Yeah, Celeste with different ones too, but her default one on that the one with no override on the World Reborn is pretty good. Right, like I said, the override applies, like you can change it, but right, so that's the remaster one, so you can actually do, if you like the remaster one more, I'm sorry, you could do the remaster. See, it's identical, or almost identical, just slightly different color variation. Right, so, but the green one's not bad. Lock, you can do a different one if you want to do, so this one has a different bandana, or you can do this one, which is kind of like this one, but with a blue, more of a bluish vest, of a navy vest. Right, it's kind of this dark gray, navy kind of one. Cyan, Let's see. I actually do like the override on this one. Shadow, I do get the one, the darker shadow, which I think works for him. Right, you can make him a ghost, which is kind of pointless, but I guess if you want a ghost permanently, I don't know. This one, if you rather have Terra be more like Super Saiyan style, you can do that. You can make a Daryl, which is, again, not sure why you want to do that, but that's an option, I guess. Then you can make a Umaro Fairy. But I will go with these. Then we'll do the next one. Let's see. Right, and this is the portraits, right? So you have the default portraits. You have the AWR, which, right, said again, I don't really like Tina with blonde hair, but that is an option here. Right, the remaster, which is similar to the default. There's a couple of changes. Right, then you got some alternative ones. Right, and then some of these new ones, which are kind of cool. Like, for this playthrough, am I going to do, like, alternative for some of them? Like, I think I want to do a combination of this one and this one. There's actually another fun called Artomnia that I will probably use a few from as well. It's kind of, you know, because this isn't a full changeover because only some of these were redone. And Artomnia has, like, a full one, right? So we'll probably start with alternate. I'll probably change a few of these and, right, with maybe some of these ones as well. And then some of the Artomnia ones kind of change it up. And then you have the battle portraits. These are defaults. You could do the artwork if you want artwork instead, or different front-facing sprites. You can do SNES sprites. You could do again artwork again. These are the AWR. And this is the kind of like the default artwork. And then you have like that. These are more the SNES artwork, I think. And these are front-facing sprites for the NOS one, and these are dialogue artwork. These are like the ones you get from the dialogue boxes artwork for the characters, right? I do usually prefer to do like front-facing sprites ones. So we'll do this one. There's actually, I'll probably be switching out for like a different mod pack before I actually play this, because I think there's one that removes these borders, which I think works better. So I'll be doing that. I'll probably, again, because we're using overrides on some of these characters, I will be switching out the appropriate sprites, and I will change out, like I said. Right, and there might be a couple other characters change sprites with. So let's go to the next one. Right, so the backgrounds and stuff, so you could do remastered, which, again, the monsters definitely go with the remaster because I think it looks better. And remastered backgrounds, you can also do the classic NES backgrounds, but remaster, let's go with full HD experience. Right, these are music selections, right? These are, so you have the default, which is pretty much identical to the SNES soundtrack, and then there's the GBA one, which, well, is kind of like the downgrade from the SNES one. And then, of course, you have these 4 different orchestral packs. Right, so the remastered is, in a lot of ways, like I said, you have remastered NOS and AWR, and then the overture. This one is probably the most different from these 3. Right, the remastered, far as I understand, like, there is no unique tracks remastered. Like, every track the remastered could be found in one of these other 3 packs. Right, this one has the most unique tracks. It also is apparently the most YouTube friendly, so we will be going with this one, and with a few, I'll change a few of them. There's all these different ones. You could change the SNES title music, could go back to SNES title music if you want. Epic Battle music package, would change to the battle themes. Ultros, alternate FF medley, right, medley, or the Velt. This one I will do just because the Velt, the default track's like 75 seconds, and it does get monotonous. So we do want to have that just to kind of, you know, plus it sounds fun. You get all these different, like a music medley of like different battle themes for all the different Final Fantasy games. So we'll definitely do that. You can change, like I said, this, so all the orchestral rated things actually have a vocal opera, right? Like if you're doing the overture, the remastered one, you can actually change it so it has AWR and NOS ones, but again, you can all do that manually as well. And then, of course, we can have all the UI stuff. I do like the Final Fantasy 13 style numbers because they, again, these are modern numbers. Menu UI, like I said, you could do the default or the remaster. The remaster kind of cleans it up. I feel like the default has all these extra boxes I feel that are unneeded, so we'll do that. 7, I do like the minimalist Blitz UI. Dialogue frame, I do prefer the default though. I do think the default frame is better than the SNES, the SNES modern one. Right, and font. Right, the default font isn't too bad. SNES font's like huge. Caldera's pretty good. Bookend looks decent, but I do like the GBA because it's right because of some of the menus. Like if you do some of the bigger fonts, some of the you'll see more like some of the menus, some images stuff, the text can get kind of buggy. I guess I don't know. It just sometimes the text doesn't look right on the bigger fonts. So I do prefer the GBA font because I do think it looks the best. It is the smallest font. Caldera is a smaller font too, but I feel like the GBA gives the best results. Right, and then you have textures like the sky. We'll do desaturated. Sure, we could do the World Reborn title screen because I just for fun. But so these are different texture packs. I'm actually going to do a texture pack mod that is by Faospark. It's something called SaneWorld, which I think is a better version of the map textures. So we're just going to leave these default, and I'm going to use the SaneWorld texture pack from Faospark. And then you can actually do backgrounds, like I said, if you want to do a different background for your menu screen. Right, so I think this one's from the SNES, this one, the Chocobo one. Right, the Cactar one. We'll probably just do the Magic Tech Armor one. Right, like I said, that's just a fun little thing you can do here. And then, right, so this installs Reshade. I do want to install Reshade. I think AWR is probably the best default just because I think it's the easiest to go from there to make it look decent. Right, so there's other options like drop shadow removal. Like I think keeping the shadows on is good. You could do the SNES walk rest or the intro video, but I do like the modern experience. High DPI fix, this is actually broken in this mod, so this does nothing. Nightmare mod, this forces increase the difficulty, but also limits you to natural magic, so only Tina and Celeste can cast magic. Opera timing fix, this one is good, and that's defilter. So defilter is really needed for this for whatever reason. They used a bilinear filter in the default version, which it does which that didn't apply right, or was too strong, so it kind of made the graphics a bit blurry, which is kind of bad. So the defilter actually is better for getting a better graphical experience. So we'll do that, and that should be it. Right, and then we will install. Right, and now we just have to wait. Alright, and then after it's done installing everything, you just hit enter. Right, which finishes that, and then you just hit push a key to exit, and now a weapon is installed, and you are ready to play. Like I said, I will be doing a couple of other changes manually, but like I said, we are ready to go, and I will see you in my stream. Thank you for watching.